Welcome to Evolve, Reinventing Leadership, Building Freedom Cultures, with thought leader and award-winning author Yvette Bethel. This podcast provides you with insights and ideas you can use to reinvent your culture through trust and the principles of interconnectivity, flow, and balance. At a time when the world is rewriting the rules of work, traditional leadership practices are not enough. It's time to perceive persistent challenges through a new lens. It's time to evolve.
Welcome again to Evolve. I'm Yvette Bethel, and in this episode, we will explore how to restructure feedback to create lasting connections. At work, feedback is necessary. It shows up in performance coaching sessions, or when a person is not sure of how to do something, or even when a person is not inclined to do their own research. The intention behind offering feedback is to influence change or modify behavior, ideally. However, when it's offered in the form of criticism, even when it's skillfully presented using a non-judgmental tone, people on the receiving end can feel attacked or embarrassed. This can lead to reactions such as withdrawal, defensiveness, or even anger. When criticism is extreme, it can be perceived as condescending or even bullying. When this happens, organizations can lose good people or impair productivity. Studies have shown that disapproving feedback can cause people to turn inward, to become preoccupied with the feedback, and the emotion they associate with this information can reduce productivity by making it difficult to focus on anything else. Neuroscience has shown that there are two parts of our brain that influence how we process criticism: the amygdala and the neocortex. Each of us has two amygdalae, which are located near the emotional brain. Our amygdalae help us to perceive threats and respond with fight or flight strategies. The important thing to recognize is that criticism can be perceived as a threat. And when this happens, the person perceiving the threat can shift into survival mode, making communication or collaboration difficult. The neocortex supports us with managing our responses to criticism by helping us to understand why we're experiencing the emotions that are showing up. By effectively navigating these emotions, we can turn excuses and blame into resourcefulness and accountability. So why is it important to understand the impact of criticism? It's because some of us have been conditioned to give constructive criticism. When criticism is offered according to one formula, it's sandwiched between two positive statements. This doesn't always work out because it can feel mechanical, judgmental, or insincere to the people on the receiving end. When it comes to criticism, no matter how it's delivered, it can be counterproductive. In some workplaces, criticism is an accepted norm. It shows up during meetings, sessions that should be dedicated to coaching, or when errors are made. Whatever the case, when criticism is offered, the intent can be to correct a situation, develop an employee, or embarrass them. When there's no intention to develop or support others, criticism can be devoid of empathy. And when this is the case, it can show up as impatience, disgust, or judgment. In other workplaces, there is no feedback at all because people leaders have lapsed into avoidance mode. When this happens, members of a team are free to think that their work is at an acceptable level or even above average. This can create complexity within an organization because internal challenges remain unaddressed and they have the potential to emerge as conflict over time. People process criticism in different ways. Some internalize the feedback and blame themselves. Others become angry or anxious and deflect responsibility by making excuses. Another group may attempt to understand why the feedback was offered so they can grow. It's not often that I encounter people in workplaces who are in this category, but when I do, There are some who may still experience the initial amygdala response that needs to be navigated. And there are those who do not associate their value with their mistakes, so they don't perceive criticism of their work as a personal attack. When we come back, we will explore several tips for how to create lasting connections through healthy feedback.
Organizational Soul is a mission-driven organization and network where we specialize in trust in academia, families, and organizations. We are building a community of leaders who are interested in trust and culture. If you are interested in our updates, you can sign up for our newsletter at orgsoul.com. As a thank you for joining our community, you can access our free resources that are designed to help you build your brand as a trusted leader as you contribute to safe space. Sign up now at orgsoul.com.
This is Yvette Bethel, and welcome back to Evolve. Now we're going to dive into how to create lasting connections through feedback. Depending on how you deliver feedback, you can strengthen relationships or create distance between you and the people around you. Here are 3 ways you can build and sustain healthy relationships by providing developmental feedback. The first way, this strategy is called positive reinforcement. It happens when you highlight a person's strengths by recognizing or rewarding their achievements. Rewards can range from bonuses to developmental opportunities. The goals of positive reinforcement are to shape and reinforce desired behaviors and for some to improve their self-image. Positive reinforcement can create the opposite effect of criticism if the person offering it is not trusted. Positive reinforcement works best when it's offered immediately after an employee has done something that should be addressed. It can be offered in private, or it can be publicly highlighted so that desired behaviors are kept at the top of mind for the entire team. Positive reinforcement has the potential to increase the confidence of employees, helping them to engage more. Empirical evidence shows that actively engaged employees are more productive. So, shifting from a culture that seeks to transform behavior through constructive criticism to one where positive reinforcement is a prevalent skill can have a profound effect on morale, engagement, and profitability. The second way that you can create lasting connections through feedback is through coaching. You can make a shift to higher engagement levels and lasting connections using your coaching skills. When leaders use an ineffective coaching model, they tell employees that they should do what they should do, and they do not ask powerful questions. These leaders are unable to gain employee buy-in and commitment. Another challenge with some performance coaching is that managers rarely have time to support members of their team with completing their work through coaching. Instead, they issue abstract instructions, and this leads to ineffectiveness, frustration, and inefficiency, even bottlenecks. Another suboptimal practice emerges when a manager explains how to do something based on his or her worldview or opinion without taking into account the differences in the employee's thinking and execution styles. Solution-focused coaching is based on the understanding that employees already have the resources they need to solve a problem creatively. As a leader, your role in solution-focused coaching is to adopt a tone of curiosity and use powerful questions to tap into their inner resources, their knowledge, and their skills. Solution-focused coaching keeps the momentum going because the process helps employees to buy into what they're being asked to do. The person being coached defines why it's important for themselves, and the leader or coach helps the team members to shift into a creative mode by honing their questioning strengths. I once heard a speaker say a question always has an answer built into it. So the more thought-provoking and curious the question, the more thoughtful the answer may be. If there is a relationship built on trust, and mutual respect. The third way that you can create lasting connection through feedback is through appreciative inquiry. Appreciative inquiry is similar to positive reinforcement. It's a strategy that focuses on the strengths of your team members using integrated skills of questioning and appreciation to highlight and rely on the strengths of your team members instead of their weaknesses. In closing, criticism can cause stress for the person on the receiving end. So think about the feedback you would like to offer by considering how you can frame it in a way that the person on the receiving end is more likely to accept and understand it as developmental and sincere. Supportive, truthful language is essential for sustaining quality relationships that are conducive to high performance. This has been Yvette Bethel, and you can learn more about and contact me at www.orgsoul.com. That's ORGSOUL.com. Or you can find me at LinkedIn. For cutting-edge courses and certifications in the areas of building trust-based cultures, leading organizations as ecosystems, and more thought leadership, you can check out our courses at the IFB Academy. You'll find the link below. So with that, I thank you for joining me for this episode, and I invite you to join me next time at Evolve, Reinventing Leadership, Building Freedom Cultures.
Thank you for listening to Evolve, Reinventing Leadership, Building Freedom Cultures. Learn more about our proprietary trust, leadership, and culture courses and certifications at the IFB Academy. You can check them out at organizationalsoul.learnworlds.com.